verse 2.
Isaiah 3 and 2. We'll start at 1. All right, it's better you start at 1. That way everybody get the whole vibe of what it is and what the whole gist of everything. Right? But it's definitely a check-in that's going on. It's like we're being checked here. You know what I mean?
Isaiah chapter 3 verse 1. For behold, the Lord of hosts, doeth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water.
Right. So now, what is he saying? What is he really saying that he's gonna do?
He's taking away everything from us, like food, water, the leaders.
Well, we ain't get to the leaders yet. We ain't talking nothing about leaders yet, right? We're talking about food. They're talking about the water. So don't jump. What you want to do is never jump ahead. You want to go step by step because that's how you're going to learn it. That's how you're going to, it's like eating food. You get the point? You don't open your mouth and push the whole plate down. You just take it step by step. You understand?
Let's
get the first for a second.
For behold, the Lord of hosts, doeth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water.
Right? So it's like he's saying the whole stock or the whole, store of water. You get the point? That's what you mean, the stay and the staff. Right? Like the whole stock of water, the whole, whatever you have in reserve, whatever you have on deck, saving. Just like just think groceries. Think like how you buy groceries for your home. And he's saying now he's gonna take away everything you have stored up for your family. So he's saying now he's taking away everything we have for our nation. He's gonna dry it up. He's gonna take it away. In other words, we're gonna be going through drought and famine. You get my point? Go ahead.
Verse 2, the mighty man, the man of war, the judge, and the prophet,
right,
and the prudent, and the
ancient.
The
mighty man, which is, who is the mighty man?
Well, the strong men, the leaders.
Not the leaders. The leaders is later on. The mighty man. What comes after the mighty man?
The man of war.
Man of war. So who are those men? The mighty man and the man of war. You with me, Up?
Yeah. Come on. No, I don't know who's.
Who is the mighty man and the man of war? In the black community, who is the mighty man and the man of war?
Okay, I'm too.
No sweat. No sweat. Who would be a man of war? Who's the white man's men of war? Who is his mighty men?
The military.
All right. Who is the East Indian? The East Indians in Trinidad right now. Who is their mighty men and who's their men of war?
The army, the police.
The men who would enforce and protect them, which would be the members of the East Indians in police, the East Indians in the military. You get the point?
All right, can.
So who is our mighty men?
Oh, our military, our
Do we have a military?
no one presently.
Well, I don't know. You sound like you ain't sure. We have one. Tell me if we have one of us so I could go join it.
Yeah, the presently our nation, no.
We don't have a military. Where
No.
the men who would be in our military, where are they?
They mix up with the other people.
The men who would stand and fight for us. The men who would go to war for us. The men who would protect our neighborhoods. The men who would make sure drugs don't come in the community. The men who would make sure a pedophile doesn't live in the community. The men who would make sure women dress right and young kids act right and there's no pork. The men who would lead and defend the society. Where are those men right now?
Well, I would say they have men like them right now in the UPK, but I mean.
Okay, that's true. That's true, brother. But okay, think on the scale we're talking about, you know, in all our, you know, societies that we live. Right? You have, you know, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, you know, Trinidad, United States. Where are those men who should stand for us? Okay, forget them. Just think about Trinidad. The men who would stand up for righteousness in Trinidad, where are they? You with me up?
Yeah, can.
Are they in the are they politicians?
Some any politicians, yes, can.
Well, name me some of them politicians then, because I don't know none of them.
Fitzgerald Hines.
Fitzgerald Hines is an Uncle Tom Coon. I heard it out his own goddamn mouth when he was on Dave Muhammad's radio show called The Black Agenda. When Dave Muhammad said, "Why can't we have new every year UE graduates a certain amount of students graduating from political science, poli-sci graduates. Why is it every year it's the same politicians? Why isn't there new blood?" And Fitzgerald Hines got up and said, well, we're working on that. We're working on that. And Dave Muhammad told him when he said there's a great number of students from Lavantil, which is a ghetto in Trinidad, ghetto area or poor area or area that's looked down upon. John, Beatham. A lot of students from there actually go to the university and excel and graduate with political science. Why doesn't the government or the politicians take those students? They are young, they're fresh, they have ideas, they want to help the people. Why don't you take them and grow them? And you know what Fitzgerald Hines said? He said, Mr. Muhammad, all our youths are only concerned with bling bling and the fast life. So don't tell me nothing about that fake Rasta Uncle Tom. He's an Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom. Anytime you have a politician that can speak down on poor people and of his own race, he is an Uncle Tom. And he is useless. He is useless. There's not a black politician in that country that would come out against the East Indians in tongue, in what they say out their mouth, as sharply as they talk about black people. You understand? The way they rebuke black people and talk about black people, none of them will ever say anything about the East Indian or the Syrian or the Chinese or the African that coming in there. None of them would say anything. But let's talk about, you know, the Beatham. Let's talk about John. Let's talk about Lavantil. Let's talk about Point. Let's talk about Labrie. Oh, they have a whole mouthful to say about black people there. So definitely don't call Fitzgerald Hines. You want to call some more, or you're good to go?
Nah, that's what I
Yeah,
think.
I thought so. Don't worry about it. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. It was a rhetorical question. There's no mighty men who are politicians in Trinidad. There's none. There's none. All right. They're not there. All right. Are they okay? So they're not politicians. They're not in the government. Are they? Could they be on the streets? Could they be in the prison?
Some could be in the prison, some could be in the streets.
Some could be in the prison. Some could be in the street. But they are our mighty men. Why are our mighty men locked up or in the street?
Oppression is one. I mean, we yeah, we have no leaders to really take care of us, so you know.
Oppression is one. You're right. Anything else? Hey, Shalom. Kareem, come on.
Shalom.
You want to try and answer that question? Why is our mighty men, the men who would really stand up for black people, who would stand up and defend us and speak up on our behalf, why are those brothers in the majority, you know, either in the prison or on the street or in poverty? You have an idea of it? Anybody? Come on, what's going on? You're sleeping? All right. Karami, I listen in the government and in churches. I would be as bold to say definitely not in the government. I would give the church more chance to give us some soldiers than the government. Now, especially now, as a politician, brother, from back then to now, you do not have black people's interests at heart at all, because you are as a politician, you are in circles where you hear and you part of the conspiracy to destroy black people. So I will not give politicians at all that type of credit. I wouldn't give any, none of them, and they will never ever say the truth. All right. Anybody else want to try it? You there, Al? Come on, who's with me?
Yeah, can we hear?
Okay, why is it that our soldiers are in that type of position where they can't, do their job? Why is it?
Because we follow in other religions,
Following other religions is one. What else? Yes. Kareem? You there, brother? Kareem, you there? All right. I don't know if he got stuck. It looked like his screen freeze. All right. This is the reason why. Neutralize a threat, you give it a job. You understand? Anytime you want to neutralize a threat, anytime you want to neutralize something, you want to stop something. You want to stop something from growing. You want to stop something from fighting. You give it a job. You give it a cause. You give it some sort of occupation to distract it from. No. What do those same politicians they mentioned, Galawan? What do they say when they asked the question of how to stop the violence and the gangs and everything in Trinidad? What do they say? What do they say?
Well, some of them, you kind of think that some of them just say, well, we have to give them work.
We have to give them work.
Like
why?
Because they're saying like the poverty have them in the crime situations by giving them jobs. They will have money and stop the crime.
Or they would not. Okay, they would be occupied with a slavery. You get the point?
Right.
You would be occupied with a slavery. You would be occupied with serving them. You understand? Serving them. Right? You get the point? That's an old strategy to stop any sort of revolution or any sort of growth in people, or to deter any sort of action that you don't want from a certain group of people. You give them work to do. You understand? You give them work to do. Because if you're working, you don't have time to do whatever else you're doing. You understand? You don't have time. You don't have time for that. I had to go to work. Even you see it all the time. You're trying to tell somebody the Jews is black. What do they say? Man, I hear what you're saying, but I gotta go to work. You understand? That's an old strategy. An old strategy. Give me Exodus 1 and 11. All right, hold where you're at and give me Exodus 1 and 11. An old strategy. Give me Exodus 1 and 11. All right, Kareem, you want to mute your stream, right? Mute your if you're watching it somewhere else, yeah, mute your stream somewhere else, but keep your phone on so you can hear me. But we get any feedback. All right, so go ahead. Give me Exodus 1:11.
Exodus chapter 1 verse 11. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters.
Start at verse 8, in fact.
Verse 8. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Right? So now there was this new king in Egypt. That was not the king that Joseph consulted. Right? There was a pharaoh in Egypt that had a troubled dream. Joseph, the king's servants told him that Joseph could interpret the dreams. They brought Joseph up from the dungeon. He was in prison. Joseph interpreted his dream. That pharaoh found favor in Joseph and rose him up to be in charge of Egypt. All right? So Joseph came and died. Joseph brought the Israelites into Egypt. He gave them their land, I believe it's the land of Goshen to occupy. We stayed there. All right, and we grew and multiplied like Israelites do. Think about, you know, all the 12 tribes in there. Of course, we were a small nation. We went into Egypt at around 70 souls, I believe. 70 souls walked into Egypt, and we grew and multiplied in the ensuing years. All right, so now a new Pharaoh came, and he didn't know Joseph. He didn't understand what Joseph did for Egypt before, and he didn't give a damn about the children of Israel. All he was looking at is these people are what?
More and mightier than we.
They are more than us, and they are mightier than us. And what we just read in Isaiah, the mighty men, the men of war. You understand? So now these Egyptians looking at the Israelites in Egypt, and they see that they outnumber us, and they're looking at it like, man, they are more mighty than we are. Mighty in, of course, strength and physical and able to fight. Mighty in terms of intelligence. Mighty in terms of society. Mighty in everything, brother. In everything, we were mightier than they were. Go ahead.
Okay. Come on. Let us deal wisely with them.
Right? So he said, come on. Let us deal wisely with them. Wisely. You understand? Because now they're looking at us as a threat. They're looking at us like at any time, if we decide to go against them, there's nothing that they could do. And that, let me give you a hint. And this walking us right into the topic I want to get started with tonight. Tonight we're going to go into to the East Indians in Trinidad who replaced the white man. So if you're in Trinidad, the devil you have is them East Indians. That dot head, that 8-hand worshiping, blue elephant worshiping fool, that's the white man for you. That's your devil there. He is in place of the white man. We're going to go into the history of it. We're going to begin it tonight. We ain't going to finish it. It's going to be in the next few weeks. But we're going to go into how much marginalized we are as a people, especially in the islands, from the heathens that live there. The East Indians, the Syrian, the Chinese especially, and the Africans. All right? So this is how every heathen sees someone who is an Israelite, who is the son of slaves, whether you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Every single heathen looks at us in this way, as a threat. The children of Israel are more than us and mightier than us. It could be one of you in a classroom, brother. They're plotting against you. All right? For those of you who have young sons and daughters in school, who are in school yourself, and sometimes you look at it and be like, man, why is it, they never want to help me with the assignments. I do the assignment right, but the teacher finds some little dumb technicality to fail me with. It's because you are just too much. You in there are too much for them. It's just too much. And it's always, from the time you walk in the room, we have to watch this nigga. We got to watch this SPIC. We got to watch this Redskin. You get the point?
Okay.
Verse 10 again.
Verse 10, come on. Let us deal wisely with them.
Let us deal wisely with them. Let us deal in a way that is treacherous with them. That's what it means, wisely with them. Let's be smart. Like how in Trinidad, people say he's a smart man. That's not a compliment. That's like just, yeah, watch that nigga. He's a snake. Don't play with him, man. He a smart man. He a smart man. He had too much tricks. That's that. It's not a compliment. Let us deal wisely with them is meaning let us deal with them treacherously. Let us plot and do everything to them purposely. Nothing is by mistake. Everything is by design. You get the point? Go ahead.
Lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
Right? So now they're scared now that if a war break out, that we will not fight for them, but we will now join their enemies to fight them. Now, if they were so kind to us, if slavery wasn't that bad in Egypt, if we were part of their society, why would we want to fight against them? You get the point? right? The fact that they scared that we were going to go against them is the proof that they were horrible towards us. And that's every single nation on the earth. Every single nation on the earth, brother, is horrible towards black people. And the minute we stand up, it's a problem. It's a problem because they expect us to retaliate. They expect us to lash back. They expect us to seek revenge. Why do they expect us to seek revenge?
Because it's only fair, it's justice.
It's justice. The problem is they understand justice. We don't. You get my point? We don't understand justice. And okay, let me say that differently. The justice they understand is the justice of an animal. You get my point? The justice they understand is the justice of an animal. The justice we understand is a uniform, organized, right is right and wrong is wrong type of justice. So with everything that was done to us, you would never see us rise up and overthrow a ruling government in the name of slavery, in the name of, you know, what was done to us for 400 years. You would see us do it in the name of Islam, like Abu Bakr did in the 1990 coup in Trinidad. You understand? You would see us do it in the name of religion, but in the name of atrocities that was done to our forefathers, which is a bloodline, you don't see us do that. You get the point? But the other nations, that's how they would retaliate. That's how America was formed. America was formed by rebellion. They rebelled against the British and fought them and drove them off. So they look for that from us, not knowing we will separate from them and our power will destroy them. You get the point? But they would look to destroy us regardless. You stand up, you try to come together. You don't include them, brother. They get worried. And they will kill you before you kill them, which is what they think. Like an animal. You have to strike first. You get the point? Right? Let me read this here. This is from Babylon to Timbuktu, right, by Rudolph R. Windsor. This is a book. Certain things in this book we always reference because they are true. And as far as we have checked with the historical records, not everything in here is accurate. Certain things in here is accurate, definitely. All right? This is page 90 from Babylon to Timbuktu. The Black Jews, Salaki, Galawan, you have one of these books?
Can I have the Babylon from Babylon to Timbuktu?
All right, read it from me. Let me see if Kareem have it. Kareem, you on? Kareem, you on? Kareem, you hear me, brother? Hello? All right, Galawan, you might have to take it. I don't know if Kareem hear me. All right, Babylon to Timbuktu. Go to page 90.
Can page 90?
Yeah, go to page 90.
From on top?
No, not from the top. Just the from the second paragraph where it says the Black Jews.
Right, can.
Yeah, let me get it.
Right. The Black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them.
Hold on one second. Kareem, you hear me now?
You hear me?
I hear you now, brother. You're good to go there. Do you have a Babylon to Timbuktu? Hello? All right, no sweat, no sweat. Go ahead.
Right, can. The Black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them.
Right. No, we carried our culture, our history, our records, our written laws with us. After we left Jerusalem, after we left our homeland after the 70 AD destruction, we carried our culture, which was a big part of our success in every single captivity we were in, excluding the American captivity. And when I say American, I'm not just talking about North America. When you hear America, of course, the focus and the power base is, of course, the United States of America, which is North America. But America runs the entire Western Hemisphere. So you're talking about Canada, you're talking about Mexico, Central America, Mexico, Guatemala, South America. You're talking about everything is run by North America. All right. So until we came over into this captivity, this captivity is the only captivity we've been in where we were not allowed to keep our identity, which is a major, major part of destroying a people. And it's why the East Indian community is able to thrive over us in those islands. All right. And we're going to go into it a little bit more as we press forward. But here, while we were mixed amongst those Hamites, we kept our culture and we had an advantage over them. And it's going to tell you why. Keep going.
This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization.
You understand? This assured them a higher precedent, right, for the development of a higher social organization. Now, this is a historical record. Where is this in the Bible? Who knows? All right, who knows? What he just read, that's in the Bible. Galawan, give it to me again.
This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization.
Right? This assured them a precedent for the development of a higher social organization. That is in the Bible. Somebody, please tell me where that is in the Bible.
Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Close. Let me hear it. Don't lose too much of your scriptures where we at right now.
Huh?
As best you can. Don't lose too much of your scriptures where we at right now.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
All right.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
That one is good, but there's one better. There's one damn near word for word what you just read. Read what you just read one more time.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord.
We went from Babylon to Timbuktu.
This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher.
Read higher up so people will know what the this is. The this that assures them.
Right, The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them.
Right? Our culture and written records gave us the advantage over those Hamites. Our culture of not eating pork, not eating shrimp. Our culture of being separate when you're unclean. Our culture of marrying within your own race kept us separate and in a better position than those Hamites. Go ahead.
This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization.
Of a higher society, of a better society. What scripture am I talking about? Who knows?
The next one that's coming to mind is Deuteronomy chapter 4 and 5.
That's it. That's the exact one. You have it? Kareem, you hearing now? You work out your audio?
You hear me?
I hear you good. Read for me Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 5 and 6.
Mashak.
Yeah, I hear you. You hearing me?
Yeah.
Give me Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 5 and 6. Come on with
I
it.
am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery.
Now, where you at? Where you reading
You
from?
shall have no other God.
Kareem, where you reading from?
Deuteronomy 5 and 6.
Nah, Deuteronomy chapter 4.
Or the 4 and 5.
Yeah.
All right. See, I have taught you statutes and judgments, just as the Lord my God commanded me.
All right, hold on, Kareem. You're going in and out. I'm
That you should.
I'm gonna let Galawan take it. All right. I'm gonna let Galawan. You're going in and out, in and out, in and out. Galawan, pick it up again there from
All right.
4 and 5. It might clear up in a little while, Kareem. I'll come back to you. All right.
All right. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Right? Wherever land we go in, we are to keep God's laws in that land. That's what the Bible says. Whatever land you go in, we have to keep his laws. So when you hear idiots talking about we in captivity, we're not supposed to learn Hebrew, they don't know what they're talking about. When you hear idiots talking about we in captivity, we ain't supposed to keep the Passover, he's a fool, or he or she is an idiot. They don't know what they're talking about. The Lord said, whichever land you go to possess it, keep his laws there. All right, keep going.
Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them.
Right, he said, keep the laws, keep your culture, keep your statutes, and do them. Go ahead.
For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
For this is your what?
For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
When the heathens see you, they're going to be like, these people are wise. These people are understanding people. Keep going.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
You understand? Like, our laws make a society. Our laws are the foundation for every nation on the earth, for every empire. They use us for everything. That's why that movie, I don't know if you ever saw it, The Book of Eli. You ever seen The Book of Eli?
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington. That movie was so heavy because everybody was fighting for the book. And the book was the Bible, the King James Version. The book was the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. And they needed that book to reconstruct society. You get the point? They needed that book to reconstruct the society. Because these laws make us wise, make us an understanding people. And that's what you read here in Babylon to Timbuktu. All right, go back to Babylon to Timbuktu now and read it again from the top.
All right, This is from Babylon to Timbuktu, page 90. The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes.
Hold on one second.
They carried their cult.
Let me just make sure. Everybody on the YouTube, let me know if you're all hearing. Are you all hearing me? Let me know if there's a sound problem, if the Facebook, if there's a sound problem. Some people saying they're not hearing. My mic's all green. Everything I'm hearing, I'm seeing the green, the bars going as I'm speaking, as you're speaking. Let me know if you're not hearing me. All right? Type in 1 if you could. If you're on Facebook, type in 1. All right? I know parties are to water. All right, cool. Go ahead, Galawan.
The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them.
You understand?
This assured them.
This is why we had an advantage over them, because we carried our laws, we carried our culture. Like, don't never let nobody rob you of your boots, your beard, and your braids. Don't let nobody take that away from you. To take that away from you is to take life from you. It's to take your spirit away. It's to take who you are, the essence of you, who you are. You can imagine an East Indian and you telling him he can't worship a damn rat, and he can't feed a rat milk and worship a damn blue elephant and some 8-hand bitch who kill and rob people. But they have the nerve to call us thugs when they had in their religion, the goddess Thuggy would slit your throat and rob you. And you pray to her when you want to kill your enemy. You could imagine you telling an East Indian, don't worship his gods no more. That would take away who they are. But they want to take away who we are because they know that's what makes us great. You get the point?
Okay.
Keep reading.
This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization.
You understand? This assured us a constant precedent. Constant, meaning it's ongoing. And it's a precedent because it's already set. The foundation is there. And now everybody who comes into our society, meaning every new child that's born, every expansion of our society is just building on that foundation. And that made us great. That made us stand way above everybody else. You get the point?
Okay.
Keep going.
Because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the
Yeah, I had a problem saying that damn word too, brother. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Auto something, right? Auto something. Let me see if I get autochthonous, right? Autochthonous. Good night. Let me look up the meaning of this real quick. All right. And let me see if there's a simpler word this man could have used instead of trying to make me seem like an idiot. Right? Autochthonous. Right? Indigenous or native. Formed or originated in the place. So in other words, because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the native population or to the regular Hamite population. You get the point?
Okay.
Right? He just wanted to show how smart he was. You know, he's a professor in I believe in Penn University in Philadelphia. So you know he had to throw the big words around. You know what I mean? The Bible says use great plainness of speech. You get the point? So this our laws keep us segregated. Our laws keep us separate from everybody else, and that's the problem. The Chinese stay separate because of their laws and their beliefs. The East Indians stay separate and they thrive because of their laws and their beliefs. We do not stay separate. We integrate and we do not thrive because we give up our laws and our beliefs. Well, right here, this historian was able to see that in the society, even though we lived there, we were able to be separate and above and a social status way above how them Hamites was living. You understand? And you listen, that is nothing amazing to me. I've seen videos this whole weekend. Just yesterday, me and General Katham was laughing about these Hamites somewhere in Nigeria. There's two separate tribes. You have the Nigerians and the Biafrans who are also African. They They ain't the lost tribe of nothing. Don't let nobody sell you no cat and bag. They ain't have nothing to do with us. But them Nigerians, they hate the Biafrans, right? And they're beating the piss out of them for fun, brother. I'm talking about, this ain't just, gather them up and execute them. There's just, it's just, animalistic and base and, nothing. Goddamn, put them to work, make them build houses, make them do something to serve you. But they don't understand it. They don't understand it because they are base people. They're base people, and we were always a higher people than they are. We are better than the African. We are better than the Chinese. We definitely better than the white man. And we better than them disgusting Nashi East Indians. We way better than them. You get the point?
Okay.
All right, keep reading.
In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people.
Right? Stop right there. So now they absorb some of them people. Why? To put them to use. You get the point? Right. We were industrious and skillful people, meaning now, okay, I know how to do this. But now they're looking at me like I'm great. So instead of going down there and just whooping everybody's tail and just, for fun, I'll pull them into my society and make them work for me. Does that sound strange? Does that sound like something that's, foreign? Does that sound, does that sound like something, it's just absolutely strange. You never heard anybody do it before. Isn't that what the white man does to us? Isn't that what the East Indians right now? The East Indians are the majority in Trinidad, right? They're like 51% of the population. I think the brothers is like 47 or 48%, and the rest is Chinese and Syrians and Africans. Right or wrong? Right? Like they are the ruling class. They have their rules. They have their religion. They have their laws they keep, and they stay separate. And because they stay separate, they're able to afford a higher social standing than us. And in affording that higher social standing, what do they do to us? They absorb us into their society, and we now do what? We work for them. You understand? We work for them, just like with the white man. All right? Somebody trying to call? Hold on. Hold on. Bear with me one. Let me try to get this brother in. You get the point, Galawan? Read it from the top again, from the top of that paragraph.
The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people. All right?
No, from the top of the paragraph, brother. Black Jews had an advantage.
The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization. Because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the native population.
Right?
In fact,
go ahead.
In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people.
Right? So now this what you see in here is life. And every other nation does it except us. You get the point? Every other nation does it except us. We don't stay separate. We don't keep the laws the Lord gave us that he told us would be our wisdom. You understand? We don't do it, but every other nation does. Even today, the so-called Jewish man, he took our laws and he applied to himself, and now he's in charge of the whole planet, brother. He controls all the economies, all the money, everything. You get the point?
Okay.
Imagine if we would start doing it now. We won't be on the bottom anymore. You understand? Right? So go back to your scripture in Isaiah. Isaiah 3 and where was that?
Okay. Isaiah chapter 3, from verse 2.
Go ahead.
The mighty man and the man of war, the judge, the prophet, and the prudent, and the ancient. Right? The captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the cunning artificer.
Artificer, meaning the man who is good with his hands, who could build stuff. He's a cunning artificer. He could make stuff, you know, whether it's cabinets or fashion swords, or, you know, he could make stuff, and he's good at it. Right? Go ahead.
And the eloquent orator.
Right? The brothers who could speak, go out and speak well and communicate to the nation and get the nation to follow the Lord. The Lord say all those. Keep going.
And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them.
Because we disobey the Lord, you have children being princes over us and babes ruling over us. Like, brother, I don't know if I had told you about that video I saw where it was an article where they said somewhere in Princestown, for those of you who don't know, the brothers in Trinidad know. Princestown is an area in South Trinidad that is notoriously East Indian. It's been East Indian ever since, you know, I don't know, since the sun rises. It's been an East Indian place. And these three police officers, two of them, I mean, ridiculously young. The milk's still on them boys' face, probably 19 years old, right? Three police officers. The article says Princestown residents fall on TTPS, or Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. What happened is these three East Indians went in there and they, you know, tried to yoke up a brother. They said the brother had a gun and they was trying to arrest him for the gun, but the residents, you know, fall on their ass, whoop their ass, and the brother got away. So of course they shame now, so they're trying to charge everybody around with all kind of assault. They're charging them for stealing handcuffs. So now I read the article, I went to look for the video. Right? Thank the Lord, some brother or sister who was there on the spot filmed it and posted it to Facebook. So there's one video of them accusing people in the crowd of stealing the handcuffs. There's another video where they have the brother in hand. They have him okay, like on, I don't want to say under arrest because he ain't really under arrest. The brother is bigger than them, you know, of course. You know what I mean? He's bigger than them. The average East Indian ain't that big, right? He's definitely bigger than they are. And they have him pressed up against, I believe, their vehicle. They have him pressed up against their service vehicle. And they keep asking him. He's asking them. There's a full-out conversation with them. They have one handcuff on him because they can't, you know, they ain't strong enough to get him to, you know, put his hand around his back. And they have, you know, he's asking them, you know, what the hell did I do? What the hell did I do? I'm trying to scroll back to see if I could find the damn video so you all could see it. All right. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Boy. It might be gone, bro. It might be gone. Mr. Indians was mad at everything I said on there. Shit was trifling, brother. It was really, really trifling to see what they did to this brother. Okay, I probably lost it. Probably absolutely lost it. All right. But what, okay, he was asking them, why are you arresting me? Why are you arresting me? The senior East Indian says, I told you about the obscene language. I told you about the obscene language. I told you about this long before. You're supposed to know by now, obscene language is an offense, which, you know, by in Trinidad's law, it's an offense to say, you know, F you or whatever publicly. It's, you know, that's just the law of the land, right? It ain't, you know, it ain't America. You understand? It's still that same, you know, colonial, archaic, you know, British type of regime where it's against the law. Even DMX had a concert in there maybe about 10 years ago. He come on stage and start, you know, bleep, bleep, bleep. He lasted 5 minutes. They arrested him that same night. He spent the night in jail. He said he'll never go back to perform down there because it's just too stupid. It's retarded. But anyway, so they had the cuffs on him because he was cussing at them, not because he had a gun. So right then and there, they were lying on him. You get the point? Whoever had the volume up in the back, turn it down for me, all right? The feedback is killing us over here, all right? So they were obviously lying on the brother because the brother didn't have a gun, which is what the resident said. Whichever the brothers, whether it's Kareem or Roderick, whoever it is, if you have it playing in the background, and you get to mute it, all right? Kareem, it look like you have something up. All right, cool, I got it. All right. Okay. Right. So the brother he didn't have a gun. He was just, you know, resisting and, you know, cursing them out because they're so damn racist and unfair. And they put on the news that he had a gun. And the resident said he did not have a gun, so they fall on the cops. They rough the cops up so that he could get away. That is an example of babes ruling over us. And, you know, they would give, you know, young children to be princes over us because we disobeyed God's laws. Like a people who so young, like you know the history of the East Indians in Trinidad? They came there in the 1800s, brother, mid-1800s. Mid-1800s, like, I mean, America is probably the youngest superpower on the earth with just over 200 years, 270-something years in existence. These East Indians been in Trinidad for a less time, brother. And now rule over us because we ain't obeying the law. You understand? You with me, Galawan?
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? Like the oppression is real. The oppression is a real thing. So that's what that scripture there mean. You got it?
Okay.
You understand so far, right?
Can.
Let me see if I find the goddamn video, brother. I thought I saved it, but it's quite possible it's gone. Bear with me one. Bear with me one. If it's not here, then definitely gone. Yeah, I believe it's gone. You know, I had to get on there and say some things to them that they did not like. Namely, the Fatel Razak should have sank to the bottom of the goddamn ocean. And for those of you all who don't know, the Fath Razak is the good ship Jesus to the East Indians. Like how, you know, they associate the good ship Jesus with, you know, slavery and black people. To the East Indians, the Fath Razak is the first ship that came to the shores of Trinidad in 1845. In 1845, it was just around 250 of them, I believe, 243, something like that, some weird number like that, came to the shores of Trinidad. It was all adults, and they came upon a ship called the Fath Razak. All right? In my opinion, that boat should have sank to the bottom of the goddamn ocean, and we would have been in a better position right now. It should have hit a rock. It could have switched places with the goddamn Titanic and sank to the bottom of the ocean. Because they are a vile and disgusting nation of people that oppress us daily and walk around and act like they ain't doing a goddamn thing. All right? And it's a high time that we separate from our oppressor. And it's one thing to look at the white man, but when he is not there, he puts somebody else. Just like any boss who you have, that's 1 second. Any boss who you have, when he is not there, he appoints a supervisor. You get the point? He appoints a supervisor to you know, rule over the people. All right? 1 second, let me add this brother back. Right? He appoints a supervisor over the people. And the East Indian community, they are the supervisors over black people today in that island. All right? So let's get some of it. Hopefully get some of the brothers back. All right. I have an article here that I'm going to read a bit for you. All right. Now, this article is from the National Council of Indian Culture. So, of course, you know, it's written by East Indians for East Indians. So you're gonna have to pick sense from nonsense. It's like reading about the history of America with a white man writing the book. He's not going to mention slaves at all. All right. All right. The 143,939 Indians who arrived as indentured immigrants to Trinidad during the period of 1845 to 1917 came from a society that was elaborately organized since ancient times. All right, Galawan, if how could I share this article with you? But I need somebody to read this for me. Could I share it right there in the Hangout? And it'll pop up. You might be able to. If would you be able to open it up and read it?
If I do that, yeah, you can try and see. Yeah.
All right. I just sent.
I don't know.
See if it pop up. I just sent it to you in the Hangout. You see it?
Yeah, I saw a link. Yeah.
Hopefully it don't cut you off. If it cut you off, I'll wait for you to get back on and I'll just continue reading.
Come on. You hear me, right? Slack, yeah?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Just can't see you, but I can still hear you.
Right.
All right,
history of Indian arrival in Trinidad and Tobago. The 1,300 Indians who arrived as indentured immigrants to Trinidad during the period 1845 to 1917 came from a society that was elaborately organized since ancient times. The period of indentureship was not like African slavery, with commencement and termination dates insisted after 1850. Indentured and time expired Indians coexisted, each contributing to and affecting the other's lifestyle.
Right? So what it's saying
Some,
is East Indians' experience in the island is not the same as the slaves, right? There was no commencement or termination date, right? It was like slavery didn't have it, all right? The East Indians had a commencement date. They came in 1845 and it's ended in 1917. You get the point? They which means, okay, indentured is like you coming under contract, right? It's like you agree to leave your home with your family and go to a foreign land and work for a certain amount of paper each month or each week. They allow you to keep your language. They allow you to keep your culture. They allow you to keep your names. They give you room and board, housing. All right? Even though it was still piss poor that they had, it wasn't like they was living in, the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. It wasn't in the Hilton. They wasn't stolen and put at the bottom of a ship, stripped naked and sold on auction blocks. You get the point? So now, East Indians today make fun of brothers in Trinidad and say, what, you mad because you came as a slave and I didn't? They mock us so goddamn much because they are a bunch of proud bastards. You understand? They are proud bastards that inherit stolen property from the white man and walk around today like their shit don't stink. You understand? They walk around today like if it, they're so much better and they got an easy introduction into the island. They got an easy introduction. They got a pass. They signed a contract and came across here with stipulations and rules. And pay. They got a wage. Ain't nobody whip your back and tell you your name is not Krishna. It's, Christopher. Ain't nobody did that to you. Ain't nobody took your woman and raped them. Well, maybe they did, but who the hell cares? You asked for it because you signed up for it. Our people did not. You get the point? Our people didn't ask to go cut cane. Your forefathers did, not mine. You get the point? Your forefathers elected to go on a ship and sail to the country and went to work like a regular job, like how people leave, people leave Trinidad all the time and go to Norway and Switzerland and work on them big oil tankers. And that's a job. Ain't nobody coming and kidnapping you and then chaining you to something and forcing you to work. That's indentured labor. And that's what they came on, indentureship. All right. So what happened is they would sign, they would have different periods of time to work, whether it was, 7 years, 10 years. And they were given something that was called, free passage? I think it's free passage is the name of the thing. Could be wrong. Free passage or return passage or something like that. They were given something called free passage, which means at the end of their indentureship or their contract, they would be given a free trip back to India. That ain't the conditions we get. You get the point? Come on, Akim. You'll be easy with the song. It's extremely disrespectful for an East Indian to mock your people and what your people suffered. It's extremely disrespectful. And they walk around the country and say, your people are just a bunch of apes and animals and dogs. Look at how you all behave. When right here in an article written by an East Indian society, the name of the society is what? The National Council of Indian Culture. Meaning these are East Indians who study it. They were able to see that what it said, Galawan, read like the third line where it says indentured and time expired Indians. Read that third line.
The period of indentureship was not like African slavery, which commencement and termination dates instead after 1850. Indentured and time expired Indians coexisted, each contributing to and affecting the other's lifestyle.
Right? What does that mean? Remember, they came in 1845. So after 1850, years of working that contract, indentured and time expired Indians coexisted, each contributing to and affecting the other's lifestyle. What does that mean?
Some people contracts it meet up with other people new contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, probably the old contracts, there was old, they couldn't work as much as the ones who had new contracts, and
No,
so it affected it.
It said they coexisted, meaning this. Those first set of people, the 200 and it's like 220 or 213 or whatever number, they came to Trinidad in 1845. In 5 years, another group came. So much so that the ones who contract expired met with the ones who was just started. And they were able to coexist, because later on you would see, even though the British gave them something called free passage back to India, them bastards did not go back. They stayed. So now they were staying while new ones were coming. So imagine they staying and working, the new ones coming, and you have somebody who already went through the system to give you pointers and tell you what to do, what not to do. And these are people who kept their culture. I think they said something like 85% of them was Hindus, and 14 or 15% of them was Muslim. All right, so the majority was Hindus. So they have a culture, they have a law for how they deal with money, how they deal with living. And now you just compounding fresh blood on top of that, on top of that, on top of that. And then some nasty East Indian want to come and tell me today that my people is disgusting because we can't get it together. When that bastard got a pass, when that bastard got help, when the white man set him up to be over the top of us, how dare he come and ridicule us in our state and on our condition? We did not get what he got. We did not get that head start he got. You understand? Slavery in Trinidad was abolished in 1832. The presentation to Parliament was in 1832. In 1834, it took effect. 1834 to 1845, in 11 years, the white man said, you know what, then? We're going to have to get these East Indians over here, and we're going to bring them here, and we're going to pay them to occupy the cane fields. After we done beat the skin off of these niggas here, we're going to get some new niggas, but we're going to pay them. So automatically, you setting them a tier over the slaves. You understand? So now, 150, 170 years later, East Indians run the country and look down on black people and say, well, why y'all can't get it together? You see, don't y'all see, y'all act like monkeys. It's only niggas killing niggas. It's only this killing, only y'all doing the crime. Only y'all doing this. Well, nigga, listen, bastard, you came here and you never left. And the white man helped you and didn't help us. So what the hell you expect? And if you were so goddamn righteous, you would have helped us. You would have looked and seen it's wrong what the white man did to these people. It's absolutely wrong. Let us try to set them up, because really this is their land. Maybe we can work something out with them where they work and send a portion of money back to India, but this is their land. We should go back to our goddamn land. But no, they came in and they devoured us. They had us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I don't care, give a damn what any East Indian says about hard goddamn work. An East Indian could never outwork a black man. An East Indian could never outwork a Hispanic or a Native Indian. So don't tell me nothing about no hard work and who's smart and all of that nonsense. You got help from the white man. You got help from your daddy. And you turned around and showed your full out ass to black people. And that gonna stop. That nonsense is going to stop. It's going to stop. All right, keep reading.
Okay. Some lifestyles that were brought by the Indians to Trinidad
Read it
are
one more time.
agriculture.
Read it one more time again from the top up.
Come. The 143,000 Indians who arrived as indentured immigrants to Trinidad during the period 1845 to 1917 came from a society that was elaborately organized since ancient times. The period, the 143,000 Indians who arrived as indentured immigrants during the period 1845 to 1917 came from a society that was elaborately organized since ancient times.
Right? So now you see, they came from a society that was elaborately organized. And wasn't we just reading how important for a society to have laws and statutes and culture, how important it was in terms of keeping our people strong and separate from everybody else? Then we just read that. So now we see how important it was for us to hold on to ours, and how important it was for the white man, the Chinese, and the East Indian to make sure black people never ever find out who they are. You understand? It's important that we never find out who we are. That they keep saying the Africans who was in slavery and the African this and the African, that they never ever tell us who we are. Because the minute we start obeying God's laws, everybody money short. Everybody money short. All right, keep reading.
The period of indentureship was not like African slavery.
There's the lie again. Not like African slavery. When this is the slavery of the Hebrew Israelite, of the Jews of the Bible. Keep going.
With commencement and termination dates. Instead, after 1850, indentured and time expired Indians coexisted, each contributing to and affecting the other's lifestyle.
Right? So now they was able to, it's like any business. Imagine you have a family and somebody running the business, and they run the business for 10 years. And in them 10 years, when they just started, they had a younger brother who was 10. And they run the business for 10 years. So now 10 years later, that 10-year-old boy is now 20. Now he comes into the business. And he doesn't come into the business brand new as somebody who just starting. He has 10 years of knowledge talking to him every day, teaching him every day, explaining shit to him every day, and 10 years of networks and connections that he has open access to. So now he have a 10-year head start from his day one. So now he runs the business for 10 more years. Guess what happens in 10 years? Another fresh batch come in. And that's how they run. And I can't be mad at them for running it like that. That's what they need to do. We was not given the opportunity to run it like that. You get my point? Our family was broken up and sold from plantation to plantation. Our family was stripped and robbed of our identity. So forget about our business. I have another article talking about what they did to us after slavery in the 11 or 12 years or so between abolition of slavery in Trinidad and the arrival of the worst thing to ever touch the shores, which is the Fath Razak. Right? Just like the white man's the devil, the Fath Razak should have sink. Y'all hashtag that, put it every goddamn way, and tell every damn East Indian that anytime they open their mouth to speak against the children of Israel, the Fath Razak should have sink. The mothers should have drowned in salt water. Because them bastards is heartless and don't give a damn about black people. All right? Keep reading.
That were brought by the Indians to Trinidad are agriculture, food, religion, and education. When the first group of indentured Indian immigrants numbering 213 came to Trinidad in 1845. They entered a cosmopolitan society, which according to a Secretary of State, was divided into castes as strongly marked as those of Hindustan. Right? It consisted of people of English, French, Spain, and Portuguese descent. In the basic three-tier structure of the 19th century Creole society,
Well, where you are? You in the second paragraph?
No, so in the first paragraph, like in the third line,
Okay.
to the last.
Stratified.
Stratified according to the color and ethnicity, as well as wealth.
Right. So now, okay, East Indians, if you know anything about them, their whole society, they go by a caste system. Caste, C-A-S-T-E. Caste system, which is a system of breaking up the society in tiers or levels. Or, yeah, that's the best way to say it. Tiers or levels, where you have, it goes by skin color and wealth. And of course, over time, the skin color is associated with the wealth. That's why, and that's what they're saying here in the 19th century. That was how they would deal with us. That's how they would deal with us, breaking us up into light skin and dark skin. But the East Indian culture, that's what it is. So you have an East Indian, the rich East Indians. They have a famous family called the Brahmas or the Brahmas. We're very light skinned and rule and run every goddamn thing and full of money. That's why when you see the East Indians have their own film industry called what? Bollywood. Is their version of Hollywood. But of course, Bombay is the big city in East India, so they call it Bollywood. And all the East Indian stars are light skinned. And all the villains are dark skinned. And all the poor East Indians are dark skinned. Even that movie Slumdog Millionaire, they couldn't get a full out dark skinned East Indian, so they get one not so light skinned to play the poor ones. So that's their culture. And they came in here and fell right in with it. And that's the society we live in today. Right? That's the society. And when you go to places in Trinidad like Barrackpore, Penal, Debe, Princestown, you have those same dark-skinned, poorer East Indians versus the light-skinned, richer ones. Now, are there poor light-skinned East Indians? Yes, just like there's poor light-skinned black people. Are there rich dark-skinned East Indians? Yes. But by and large, the structure of the society, that's how it was. And that's how it is, in fact. All right? Stop right there. Hold on. Hold on. All right, let me send you another article. All right. In fact, keep reading. Keep reading real quick.
East Indians face many challenges in the West Indies. Although the indentureship system was not supported to mirror that out.
Although the indentureship system was not supposed to.
Although the indentureship system was not supposed to mirror that of slavery. It did in many ways.
Now you see how wretched these East Indians are. They say although the indentureship system was not supposed to mirror that of slavery, it did in many ways. What way did it mirror slavery? How? How? How could it possibly mirror slavery? But the East Indian is a bastard just like the white man. Don't the white man always say, well, the Irish was in slavery too? The Irish were indentured laborers. Many of the Irish were stowaways who ran from Ireland and stowed away and came in as illegal immigrants into New York. How the hell is that slavery? How? Explain this thing to me. How is it slavery? But they're proud and they're arrogant and they like to talk down to people. Oh, no problem. A day is coming where their blood gonna run too. Not by my hands or yours, but the Lord is gonna slaughter them. For every plague that happens in East India, I'm grateful and thankful for it. For every mudslide, for every famine, I'm grateful and thankful for it. It makes me know that our power is real and he ain't just smiting the white man. The Africans feeling it, the Chinese feeling it, and the East Indians feeling it because they don't give a damn about us. How in the hell you gonna compare indentured laborers to slavery? Nigga, is you on crack? Keep reading.
The Indians were now faced with a language barrier.
A language barrier. Woo, big whoop. Them bastards got to keep their language. They got to keep the Hindi. Even till today, they have words that is part of Trinidad culture. Dogla, which means bastard child. We look at Dogla like it's a separate race. But Dogla was anytime a brother had an East Indian woman or East Indian took a black woman and made a baby, that baby was not considered pure to them. It was considered a bastard, someone who is fatherless because shit, they don't consider the black man no father. And that East Indian, he ain't nothing if he take a black woman and make a child. So they call it Dogla. Mai, which is East Indian for Hindi for mother. Bap, East Indian for father. Nimakaram, all them ungrateful. All them things is part of Trinidad culture and the language because they were allowed to keep the goddamn language. Where in Trinidad culture is the Hebrew language, which is what we spoke. Where is it? Where's the Arawaks and the Caribs? They spoke ancient Hebrew. Where is that in the culture? It's not there. So how in the hell you could say you faced many similarities in slavery? You didn't. You trying to diminish our suffering to justify your oppression of us. And that ain't flying by this table. Fitzgerald Hines might agree with you. I will not. The black politicians, they'll agree, yeah, it was bad for the East Indians too. Nigga, I wish my foreparents signed a contract to come to Trinidad and make some money. Maybe I'll have, maybe my uncle would be the attorney general. Maybe my father-in-law would have been Ish Galbaran Singh, who stole millions of dollars in the airport contract. Maybe that would have happened to me. East Indian indentured labor was nothing close to slavery. Nothing. From the boat ride. There's nothing close to it. Keep reading.
Many were converted to Christianity. Living conditions were poor and life was generally difficult.
Well, right. And now, okay, we talking about 1845 till, 1917. That's around 70 years, brother. We talking about 400 years of slavery. You know how many hundreds of years before people was enslaved in the islands? So how in the hell 70 years match up to, 250 years of brutality? How? Keep going.
However, this did not stop East Indians from making their mark on the culture of Trinidad.
Yeah, this is how proud they are. Despite all of that, this did not stop us. We are very what did I say, man? We are hard-working and industrious people. We are hard-working and industrious people. You're a bunch of goddamn crooks. You're a bunch of crooks that lie and steal and murder your own parents for land. You tell me about you're an industrious type of people, and now you rose over the top of us and oppress us daily. Keep reading.
Many held on to their traditions and customs with their families. They preserved, toiled the land, and ensured that their children were educated.
It's easy to ensure your children were educated when you live with them, you bastard. When ain't nobody kicking your door and sold your child to some other plantation, you filthy bastard. It's easy to ensure your children were educated then. Let me tell you something. Don't you never let no East Indian talk no shit to you about he was in slavery too, or why your people can't get it together. When they got a full-out helping hand from the white man, a full-out helping hand, and given respect and dignity. White man strip us of our culture and our language, and we worship one God. But the white man let them keep some purple goddamn elephant and some 8-handed bitch that they worship every goddamn day. Don't you never let no East Indian talk down to you with nothing. You make sure you remember you the children of God. And they're gonna get their just dues like every other heathen who oppressed us. Keep going.
Today, Indo-Trinidadians are professionals in the fields of business, science, medicine, law, culture, economics, education, and even politics.
I want to vomit out. I literally want to throw up. The way they talk about themselves. They are professionals in the fields of business and science and medicine. And you know how they talk. When nobody does talk about the University of the West Indies scandal, they think people forgot where they would only admit East Indians to the Mount Hope campus. The Mount Hope campus in St. Augustine, Trinidad is the University of the West Indies campus for medicine. They would only admit East Indians there. If anybody black wanted to go there, even if they qualified, they would send them to the main campus in St. Augustine to do a year of science. And if they passed that year, then they could come and do medicine. They forget all the stories of from the CXE and the common entrance exams being leaked to certain East Indian schools so the East Indian children could get the test early. Don't tell me no garbage about you work hard for what you have. You con and steal your way through to oppress black people like every other heathen does. But no problem, that's our fault. We wanted to worship everything else. We didn't want to worship the Lord. We didn't want to keep the Passover. You understand? We didn't want to keep the Feast of Purim, the memorial blowing of trumpets, which is this Wednesday, September 20th. We didn't want to keep that. We wanted to look after other gods. So now some East Indian is in charge of me. Keep going.
Due to the magnificent contributions of all ethnic groups to the development of the society of Trinidad and Tobago,
due to the
government
contributions of all ethnic groups, but he didn't list all ethnic groups. You see how they do? Didn't list all ethnic groups. He lists his. So in essence, he's training your mind to attribute the contributions in business, science, and medicine to East Indians, even though all ethnic groups was there. These bastards. Keep going.
The government declared in 1995 that May the 30th be Arrival Day, a public holiday to mark the coming of the East Indians, Chinese, Syrians, Portuguese, and other groups to our country.
Right? No, in 1995, I remember that I was in Trinidad then. The original name of that holiday was Indian Arrival Day. It was not just Arrival Day. They changed it to Arrival Day because of course, you know, even the most proud bastard, he had to have some sort of shame about himself. So they changed it to Arrival Day, but the original thing was the East of Indian Arrival Day. And they used to have parades with a huge big float in the shape of a boat in the streets. I say it before and I'll say it again. The Fath Razak should have sink and drowned on a bomber. Drown every one of y'all. Should have sank. We'd have been in a better position. Right? 1995, they say we're going to declare it a holiday. All right? Keep reading.
The occasion was specifically significant to the East Indian community since it marked the 150th anniversary of the arrival of the very first group of indentured laborers from India to our shores.
Now imagine that. In 150 years, brother, never serving slavery, did not have to start from scratch of knowing who they were, did not grow up naked and ashamed, didn't have the children stolen from them. In 150 years, they got to keep their language, keep the culture, keep their family together, keep their social structure. Remember, we just read they had an elaborate social structure that dates back to ancient times. In 150 years, they were able to be in charge of the government of Trinidad and Tobago and making a holiday to honor their arrival. And then these bastards going to turn around and say, why y'all can't get it together? Why you all this? And they openly call us a bunch of monkeys. Look at you, you're acting like an orangutan. Your people are a bunch of hyenas. They openly disrespect black people. Let the Lord bring judgment on every East Indian. Let the Lord bring judgment and destruction on the heathens for what they did to us. You understand? We right up on the time. We're going to go into some more next week. I ain't stopping. Give me Jeremiah 50 and 7 up.
Okay.
Right, start at verse 6, Jeremiah 50:5-0. All right. In the meantime, the brother I.S.U.P.K, he went and found the water, brother. You for sure help him out big time with these things. Brother went and found the damn video that I was talking about. Let me see if I could get to play it for you all right? The video I was talking about where they tried to arrest the brother. Now, the original article was said that the brother had a gun. Of course, he did not have a gun. You know, East Indian lied just like the goddamn white man. All right?
I'm still like Jeremiah 50 verse.
You're going to read 50 verses 6 and 7.
Okay.
All right? Give me 1 second. I'm going to play the video now for everybody to see, all right? All right. Hopefully you all could see there. I'm trying to get Facebook to see what's going on here too. All right. Look, God damn it. Look how young this is an East Indian police officer. This nigga looking like 50 now. You see him trying to hold the brother, right? You're seeing that, right? He ain't even a grown down man. You can imagine walking on the street and some 17-year-old white boy pulling you over, talking about hands up or don't, this is the law, freeze. So of course everybody in the neighborhood come out because it's like, what the hell is going on? Y'all seeing this boy. This is what pisses me off the most. This is a boy here. I don't know if y'all see him in the blue plaid shirt. That is a boy, and he's a police officer. Trying to pause it so you see his face. So they're trying to arrest the brother. They can't even arrest him. Look, that's a boy. You seeing him, Galawan?
Can.
That is not a grown man. So when the scripture pull in Isaiah, how they say they'll make children our oppressors and boys our princes. That's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing. And these are a people that got help from the white man to stand up on their own feet. And instead of turning around, if they were so righteous, if Hinduism was so goddamn good, and the 15% of them that was Muslim was so goddamn good, they'd have turned around and said, it's wrong what this white man did to black people. Let us bring them in. Let us give them some kind of economy so they can help themselves. But now you bastards fed yourself fat on our backs. And now you turn around and oppress us. And then decide to look down and call us all sorts of names. Let the Lord bring judgment on every East Indian. So he trying to remain calm. He ain't even aggressive because he know how the thing could go. He know how quick the thing could go by. Now you'll hear him. The cop telling him, I warn you several times about the obscene language. I warn you several times about the obscene language. Meanwhile, the newspaper article, who is run by the East Indians, said the brother had a gun. He didn't have no damn gun. They was just mad this brother didn't bow down his head like a slave and go into cuffs. Yes. So now when the people come out to help defend the brother just too big for them, you know what I mean? They're bringing boys to arrest him. The brother, you know what I mean? He's like, man, what y'all arresting me for? They're trying to arrest him for obscene language. Now, that's a law in Trinidad, but who the hell really enforces some shit like that?
Wait, please, watch
right? So now he telling the officer, Mr. Man, don't choke me, because now they're trying to be extremely violent because they can't get the brother to submit. And of course, the people, they're right there behind them, willing to fall on them. All right? And that's the end of the first video. That's the end of the video for the most part, because what ended up happening after is that they fell on them. So like, you understand? They fully fell on them, and the brother got to run away. The brother got to leave. You understand? The brother got to leave. But that's part of the situation that's what's going on in the country. And it stems from way up. Like the base level is, of course, the police. And don't get me wrong, there's brothers who are on the police force who do dumb shit too. But they've been trained into that in a regime that's been run by East Indians and sell out black politicians like Fitzgerald Hines and them. Get the point? Sell out black politicians like them. Like a few weeks ago, there was an East Indian that went on social media and made some threat to the prime minister. Said, you know, he want to kill his whole family and all of that. And they didn't rough up that East Indian like that. And that's a crime. That's a punishable offense. I think you could go to jail for that. And they didn't do that. Galawan, isn't that East Indian on the streets right now? Didn't they let him go?
Can.
They let him
come out on bail.
Say again?
He came out on bail, yes. He on the street.
Well, he on the street. Well, let's see if he ever going to make a jail. But I guarantee you, the East Indian judge and the East Indian cop that arrest him is not going to send him to jail for saying that a black prime minister or leader should be put to death. You understand? For that. But this brother who said, fuck you, coolie, they want to lock him up for that. You understand? They want to lock him up and arrest him for that. And when they couldn't do it because they was too weak, because Baji and Red Butter don't put strength on you, when it was too weak to do it, they went to the newspapers and lied and said he had a gun when he didn't have no gun. Because if he had a gun, they'd have said it right there. They would have said, you're under arrest for this gun. Where you get this gun from? But this whole thing is obscene language. He didn't have no damn gun. He didn't have no gun. And that's what we face because we don't want to separate from these heathen. We don't want to now return to the Lord and obey him and stand with him and suffer with him and wait on the Lord and obey him so that he could come back and destroy our people. Destroy the people who oppressed our people. Salaki. Read the scripture I want to go one quick.
Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray.
So like your time out there.
They have
You went out a little bit. Read it one more time.
my people have been lost sheep.
Uh-huh.
Their shepherds have caused them to go astray.
Right? My people, that's what Jeremiah said. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. Right? Their shepherds have caused them to go astray, meaning their leaders have caused them to go astray. So when you remember earlier, you mentioned Fitzgerald Hines.
Gone.
Right? He caused us to go astray. There's no doubt about it. He caused us to go astray. Keep going.
They have turned them away on the mountains.
Right? They turned us away on the mountain and the high places. They turned us away.
They have gone from mountain to hill.
Mm-hmm.
They have forgotten their resting place.
Right? We have gone from mountain to hill. What does that mean?
We're going from a hill, something high to higher.
You're right. In the scriptures, mountains is like ruling governments or major institutions, like the Christian church, governments. We've gone from mountain to high hill, meaning we've went from powerhouse to powerhouse looking for answers. We join Christianity, we ain't get it. We join Islam, we ain't get it. We join Rastafarianism, we ain't get it. We become, atheists and just love America and money and think money could deliver us, and that still ain't gonna work. We've gone from everything powerful in the earth, a mountain and a high place. You get the point? And still have not found rest. Still have not found a place where we could call it our own. Look at the Hispanics, our Hispanic brothers and sisters now, recovering from that darker thing that Trump was talking about, illegal immigrants. Right, I seen an interview, a sister who's somewhere up in Pennsylvania. She went to a university named Transylvania. That was a mistake from jump. But anyway, they in the class talking about, they can't wait for her to be deported. And she is on video talking about she's so heartbroken. How 20 years later, she still don't feel like America is a home. Why? Because our leaders teach us to love things that don't love us back. You understand? And anybody teaching you that you are to join with the East Indian and integrate and to love them is teaching you to love something that cannot love you back. And make no mistake, I'm not in any way telling anybody to pick up arms against the East Indians. I'm not in any way telling anybody to be violent against the East Indians. What I'm telling you is you are the children of Israel, you're not African. And you are much better than the East Indian, and it's time to start separating from them. Time to train your children to separate from them and come back to the Lord. Come back to the Lord's statutes and commandments. Come to the I.S.U.P.K. and learn your true history. All right, keep going, quickly.
All that found them have devoured them.
All that what?
All that found them have devoured them.
All that what?
All that found them have devoured them.
Them East Indians came as indentured laborers 11 years after slavery was abolished, and they found us. Did they help us, Galawan? What does the scripture say?
They have devoured them.
All that found them have devoured us. They didn't help us. They didn't look at us and be like, damn, the white man really do a number on our people. They didn't do that. You know what they did? They said, thank you, Mr. White Man. Even though you bust Gandhi head wide open, these niggas on this island make up for it. Thank you. And they turned around and they devoured us, brother. They devoured us. They devour us every day. Keep going.
Okay. And their adversaries said, we offend not.
And they all say, what do they say, Galawan? What do they always say? What do they say down there when we talk about how much we be oppressed in Trinidad? What do they say?
They say, that's not true. Forget about that. Everybody being oppressed. move on.
That's the poor East Indians that say that. The rich ones say, that ain't my fault. Y'all too lazy. Y'all only want to rob and steal and sell drugs. If y'all would stay in school and study, maybe your father could be a lawyer. When the biggest drug dealers in Trinidad are East Indian. Dole Chady was notorious drug dealer who dead now, was an East Indian. The Dayal brothers, Tony and Mukesh Dayal, was East Indian brothers running a cartel out of southern Trinidad. They was robbing banks and killing everybody, killing cops. They was East Indian. So don't tell me about black people selling drugs. They hold themselves not guilty. They say, we offend not. We ain't do nothing to y'all. Look, y'all just like that. Y'all is just, you know, that's just y'all. Keep going.
And the adversary said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers.
And that's so heavy. That is so heavy. You understand what I'm saying? They're saying we offend not because you sinned against your God. Meaning they know who we are. And they know that if they keep us sinning, they could rule over the top of us. Read that last part again and you'll see what I'm talking about.
All that found them have devoured them. Terry said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers.
You understand? We offend not. This is your fault. Y'all to this, y'all to that. East Indians are a bunch of bastards, man. I'm going to say it loud and clear. I'm going to say it for every brother and sister who cannot say it because we've been so beaten down. I'm going to say it for every dead brother and sister that suffered and died on a plantation and watched some East Indian come and get paid to do half the job that they lost their lives doing. The East Indians are a nation of bastards, and the Lord is going to make you pay for what you're doing to black people. All right? We're going to end it there tonight. Next week, we're going to pick up on some more of the history, and I'm going to show you the progression of them with their economics all the way up to today, including the Chinese, the Syrian, and the Africans, and how it is they all prey on us and turn everything on our head to make us seem like we are what's wrong, and they are not. All right?
Right. I just want to say, before I came into the truth, right, I had a close friend, an East Indian. But since I came into the truth now, I stopped talk.
Right.
Nothing's wrong with that, right?
Okay, I mean, this is nothing personal. No, I ain't gonna tell you to go out and hang out with him. You know what I mean? He for sure he's an East Indian. Who the hell knows what he's gonna do to you now? But okay, it's bigger than that. You don't have to. Is this somebody you see on your slavery every day?
Nah.
Okay, this was just a homie where, you know, y'all grew up together and that's that. Whatever. You see him, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? He see you, hey, what's going on? So you into that now? Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? I had to step up for my people. Be professional about it. Don't be personal. Don't. If you see him now, you don't have to make effort to reach out to him. But if you see him, hey, what's going on, man? And he see you. I mean, when I say like he see you and it's obvious you're about to talk, don't pass him straight or nothing like that. Hey, what's going on, man? Say, hey, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, man, long time I ain't see you. Yeah, man, I've been busy. I've been working, you know what I mean? I'm doing some things here for my people. You know what I mean? And shit, if it come to it and you all have a conversation, show him. Say, listen, man, your people take care of your people. And your people teach your people to be separate from mine. I'm teaching my people to take care of my people also. This ain't nothing personal with me and you. I don't know you from Adam. You ain't never did nothing to me. But your people have oppressed mine. Your people have come to this country and gotten benefits that my people have not gotten, and have taught my people to accept being second-class citizens. I can't do that no longer. It's nothing personal. This is a job I have to do. Right? Just treat it like that. Treat it like that, and you'll stay away from the little petty, fuck you, coolie, fuck you, nigga. It'll stay away from that bullshit. Right? That's not what this is about. This is something way bigger than that. Way bigger. You understand? You're trying to speak to a nation, not one individual. You get my point? So don't worry about it. Do you have to reach out to him? Hell no. You see him sometime and he see you and, hey, what's going on? You call you by a slave name or whatever. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? All right? Lord's will, he reach out to you someday and you have one of you, fully good. It ain't slavery. But even if not, you just let him know, listen, man, yeah, I've been busy. I've been doing some work, you know what I mean? How everything going? Everything cool? All right, cool. And that's that. You want to go out and get a drink sometime, brother? I can't do that right now, man. I have some work to do. Maybe some other time. And that's that. You just be smooth with it. Like, fighting him is a small and very juvenile battle. It's a young battle. It's nothing. It doesn't profit anything to disrespect him or to fight him. You get the point? He is a small, and the fact that you are friends with him means he is low. It's like being friends with some, trailer park trash. Like, he white, but he is like, the bottom of the barrel white man. You get the point? So this East Indian who you knew, he ain't, he ain't Sabga, he ain't, Neelan Massey. You know what I mean? His parents don't own, Clico, CL Financial or whatever. You know what I mean? If you knew him from young, that means he grew up in the conditions you grew up in, so he ain't really important in East Indian society, even though he's one of them. So it's not a personal thing with him. You get my point? Like I say, you ain't had to go hang out with him and show him all that love. But if you see him and he talk to you, hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, everything cool. You get the point? Like, what we do is professional. It's not personal. You understand? It's absolutely professional, not personal. It's not a personal thing. You get my point? All right. So we're good to go there, right? Anybody have any questions? We just get them next week, or we way over the time. All right. So next week, 7 o'clock. Let's say if y'all could, get on early. Kareem, Roderick, everybody, y'all get on, a little bit before, and let's get a rocket talk. The information going to for sure be there. I'm definitely doing more and more research into this thing because they don't talk about it. But that means Indians full out strong armed robbery the whole island. Full out strong armed robbery, and our leaders did nothing to protect us against it. All right? All right, Akim. Shalom. Yabashim Shabbat Katham.
Shalom. Yahweh Shabbat.